Hello, everybody. Welcome to the episode. Thank you for joining us. Remember, if you would like a glossary for all of the words we discuss in the episode and a quiz, a listening exercise for the episode, you can join our club on Patreon, Tea Break English Club. That will give you access to the glossary, the quiz, and much more. We have our own Discord community for general conversation, topic discussion, and a lot more as well. And we also have a lot of posts throughout the week. We have guided learnings, advanced English lessons, more quizzes, more glossaries, and we have conversation classes as well that happen every weekday: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So if any of that interests you, make sure you join the club. Enjoy the episode.
You alright, mate?
All right, mate?
How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not so bad. Welcome everyone to our second podcast. We're going to have a little chat this week about education, aren't we, Finn?
Yes, we are. The beauty of the UK school education system.
How was your school experience, Finn?
My school experience. So I think because I live in quite a remote area and there's not many options
Yeah.
for different schools, we kind of had everybody. It's kind of just like you go to the school. We have what we call catchment areas in the UK. So every school has a catchment area, and if you live within that area, you basically have to go to that school, and like the buses and stuff collect people from different parts of that catchment area. So I guess yeah, it was quite fun, quite a good experience. You kind of get to know everybody in the vicinity, in the surrounding area of the school.
Yeah, I think that's something because you live quite rurally, and so do I. I think that was definitely something like people from because the school's maybe in the middle of this big kind of countryside region, you get people kind of from quite far away from all sorts of like random small villages and towns kind of all in the same school, um, which is quite funny really. There's quite a lot of different people and stuff.
Yeah, and we both went to state schools, so I guess we don't have a variety of different opinions. But yeah, I guess we will dive into this a whole lot more. So I guess should we start with what the different levels are in the UK education system, the different qualifications that you earn almost?
Yeah, sure. Why don't we start there?
Sure. All right.
So, I mean, we can skip, I guess. Like we call it. Well, I called it playgroup, or there's nursery, and there's some people say kindergarten, I guess. But we can. So that's like for when you're just before school, when you're 3 or 2 or 3. And then we call it primary school, which is like up until you're 12.
Yeah, 11 or 12, something like that. It's like year one until year six. So in the UK, each academic group is called a year instead of, I
Yeah.
know in the US and in Canada, they call it grades, like grade
Mm.
one or second grade, something like that. I don't know. We just go year one, year two, up
Yeah,
until year six is the last year of primary school.
yeah. And then after that, you go to secondary school, which is high school. It's what we call high school, secondary school, and that's up until you're 16, and you do the most. Well, they make it seem like the most important qualification, don't they?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, they always I guess we can say like hammer. So imagine just somebody smashing something with a hammer. They hammer in the fact that GCSEs are super important when in reality they're not, yeah, not as important as they make them out to be.
No. So the GCSEs are this kind of famous, most important set of exams that you take when you're 15, 16, and they determine what you do afterwards. So at 16, you can finish secondary school, and afterwards you have some choices about what you want to do, whether it's more like stay in education in a sixth form or college, or a apprenticeship, and what grades you get kind of determine what you can do afterwards.
Yeah, so I don't know when you chose your options. We had like options to choose in year nine. So
Mm.
secondary school is year seven till year 11, and then year nine, you choose your options for year 10 and 11. Um, I'm not sure if they changed that, maybe. I don't know. Did you choose?
Yeah, I had to choose, and it felt like a very big choice um, when you're like 14, and they make it seem very, very important, and you have to choose what feels like your future at a young age. I remember there was a in year nine, so just before our GCSEs started, there was it's probably the same all over the UK, but in the subjects that you didn't choose, you'd be in the classroom and you might be a little bit naughty, or you might kind of give up on the work slightly, and you could say to the teacher, "Well, I'm not doing it next year. I'm not doing GCSEs. It doesn't matter anymore." That's
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, because up until year 10, you have to study everything.
Mm,
And we have, well, we call them core subjects.
mhm.
And that's like your maths, English, science.
I think that's it.
Yeah. Well, we had, what did we call it? Like the religious studies. We called it EPR, ethics, philosophy, and religion. But I know
Yeah,
that's called
yeah.
something different everywhere.
As was RPE, religion, philosophy, and ethics.
Right. Yeah, that was mandatory for us. So that was something that we didn't get a choice. We had to do those subjects, and then we could choose four other ones, I think.
Oh, that's interesting. For me, it was just maths, English, and science, and religion, philosophy, and ethics, or whatever you want to call it. That wasn't mandatory, but I did choose it anyway.
Okay, nice. Yeah. What else did you choose?
I chose history, um, religion, ethics, philosophy. Um, I think I did PE,
Nice.
art, and Spanish. I think that's what I did.
Okay.
But it's a
Yeah.
long time ago now.
Yeah, I did. Well, I did Spanish and PE as well. PE stands for physical education. Basically,
Yes.
just sport.
Yeah.
um, yeah, Spanish, PE. I did business and geography.
Nice.
My other thing, I think.
Did you enjoy school at that age?
Nah, not really. I don't. Do you know anyone that actually enjoys enjoys school?
No, I mean, you got to see your friends every single day. Um, but it's crazy now when I look back at it. I used to talk to my friends at university about this. Like, at university, you have, we call them contact hours. So the amount of time you actually get to spend in a lesson or um, in a seminar or a lecture or whatever, and you get maybe what 10 hours a week if you're lucky.
Yeah, I mean it
Mm.
depends on the course, doesn't it? But
Yeah,
yeah, something like that.
and we were saying how at school you'd have 6 a day, and um, every single day, and it was a very different environment to university, definitely. But there was some fun things at school.
Yeah, I think at the time it kind of feels never ending. I don't know. That's what I always felt like. I thought I'd
Yeah,
never get to the end of school.
yeah, definitely. I think your perception of time definitely changes a lot at school. What was your school uniform like?
So we had just black trousers, black shoes. You were supposed to wear black socks, but at the time everybody just wore white socks, and we could get away with it. So we could do it without getting in trouble or being told off. But I think they clamped down. So when some sort of authority clamps down, it means that they tighten the rules, they get stricter, and they enforce those rules. So I think I dodged dodged the bullet, to use another expression there. So I escaped just in time before they started to clamp down, and then just white shirt and a black jumper with like a low V neck, we call them. So just shape of a V, kind of like down to here, with a tie, a black tie with yellow stripes, like yellow diagonal stripes. And we, so throughout my time at school, we always had clip-on ties.
No way.
I don't know if you did, but I think it's because I guess people in previous years had always kind of messed around with other people's ties or just not tied theirs up properly. What do you call it when you pull?
Yeah, I was just trying to remember that.
Is it
Because
peanutting or something?
we had actual ties that we had to, do up each morning. And there was a thing that we used to do to each other. I can't remember what it was called, but you grab someone else's tie and pull it down really hard and fast. And it basically creates a knot that is impossible to undo.
Yeah, I think I remember the name like peanut. You peanut someone.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of peanutting. I think there's different names for it in different parts of the UK, uh, because there's always different names for the classic prank at school where you get someone's bag, unzip it, take everything out of the bag, and then turn it inside out and put everything back in. Um,
Yeah, and you can do that with everything in the bag as well. So say somebody has like a little pencil case or something, you can do that as well.
it
Um,
becomes like a Russian doll situation.
yeah, what did you call that? We called that cabbaging.
Cabbaging.
Yeah, like you cabbage someone's bag.
Our name for it was a bit on PC actually. I think
All right, well,
probably best to leave that one in the past.
yeah, all right, we'll leave that one. We'll go with cabbage then. You cabbage someone's bag.
Yeah, but you will find a different name for that everywhere you go. Um, but my uniform was horrible. It was really really ugly. It was a fleece, so like a thick jumper, um, and it was green. And underneath it we had a green tie with stripes. Um, and luckily, us boys just wore black trousers, but the girls had to wear kilts. So a kilt is like a type of skirt with a tartan pattern on it, so like checkered pattern. They're quite famous for in Scotland. It's like the national dress. Um, we're not Scottish. I don't know why we wore them. Well, they wore them. But yeah, our uniform was really, really ugly.
Yeah, that sounds pretty grim. I think
Yeah,
grim is a pretty common word actually in the UK that gets overlooked, so nobody kind of stops and says anything about it. But it's, I don't know. I feel like grim comes up quite a lot, and grim just means horrible, and grim
Yeah,
is just not
yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, often used about like food as well, used for food
And weather.
and weather. Yeah, grim weather, which it is today. This week is the start of some very grim weather in the UK. Well, for me anyway. Down here is very wet and windy and wild, but
Yeah, well, it's been snowing up here where I am in the north, but it melted this morning, so there's none left to show you, unfortunately.
oh no. Yeah, hopefully
Mm.
throughout the week then it will snow a little bit more and you can show us.
Yeah, I'll try and put some more pictures in the Discord.
Yeah, well, our topic for today, well, on the day of filming this, our discussion topic is snow. Just everything to do with snow. Whether your country gets snow, whether you like going on holidays to snowy destinations, just your experience, I guess. Because some countries are very used to snow; they get snow all the time, and some people have never seen snow in their lives. So we want to hear it. Everything, anything, and everything. We we want to hear it. But yeah, let's get back to the topic of school. We kind of sidetracked a little bit there, but yeah. So after secondary school or high school, as you called it, I think that's quite a northern thing, isn't it? Calling it high school.
No, I think I said high school is what the US call it. I'd say second.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, because I think my cousin called it high school, and he's from Blackpool, somewhere up
Yeah.
north. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that was just him or that school or something. But
Well, I think it depends really because I think a lot of English is becoming a bit Americanized, isn't it? So I guess it depends on the person.
yeah, I don't really like the name high school. I want to keep it
Yeah,
secondary school.
it's sort of
But
sort of-
after secondary school, after we have done our GCSEs, we move on to either A levels or BTECs, or another thing is a vocational pathway. So vocational is an adjective that is pretty much just anything to do with jobs. Your vocation is your job. Um, so I studied A level. I think most people study A levels, don't they? They go on to do A levels.
I'm not sure. I mean, I think it's probably changing these days. They say that I think the way they describe it is A levels are kind of the pathway to university, whereas other options like BTECs or vocational pathways or apprenticeships, whatever you want to call them, are more for people who already know what they kind of want to do.
Yeah, kind of a more direct way into getting a job, getting a bit
Yeah,
of hands-on experience, we say.
yeah,
So hands-on experience doesn't have to literally mean putting your hands on something. If you're doing one of those pathways to do with, I guess, like trades or building or something, then yeah, you're probably going to be hands-on. But sometimes it can be even like, I guess, in tech, IT, whatever, hands-on experience. Oh, I guess even then you're typing with your hand, but yeah, hands-on experience, real world, real life experience. But yeah, A levels, kind of the path to uni, to university,
mm.
and we study three of them, three different subjects.
Yeah. There was
What did you do?
well, there was always some smart person who did four, but that wasn't me. I did history, philosophy, and Spanish.
Nice, keeping the EPR or whatever you call it, RPE or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I studied Spanish, environmental science, and geography. But environmental science was not almost like it. It wasn't really a science. It was just kind of just lots of lists of different positives of this, negatives of this, that sort of thing.
Yeah, a bit of a DOS.
Yeah, a bit of a DOS. Could you explain that one?
A DOS is something that's maybe not very serious. It's quite easy, and maybe not very respected.
Yeah, not very
Um,
respected or very helpful, I guess.
yeah, so, but it's not necessarily negative because the person who does that is quite content being a bit more relaxed with a bit less pressure.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit easier. They're happy doing what they're doing.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed sixth form a lot more than secondary school. Um, it was a lot more chilled out, I thought. Chilled out, more relaxed. Um, our uniform was better. We got rid of the green jumpers, and the food was really good.
Nice. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you're saying sixth form. Should we? I guess we could break that down a little bit as well. So, a sixth form is normally attached, or it's like a part or linked with a secondary school.
Mm.
So you still had uniform at your sixth form.
Yeah, we still had the uniform. It was more casual. Well, it wasn't a green jumper. It was just a black zip up fleece, but still had uniform. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because the sixth form that was part of my school was just no uniform.
Mm.
But yeah, your other option if you don't want to go to the sixth form is a colleges. So it's a bit more like a uni, really. I know it's a bit confusing because in the US they call universities colleges. They don't really use the word unis that much, but for us, a college is something a little bit different. And college or sixth form is just 2 years, unless you fail a year and you have to have to redo one. But yeah, just 2 years. And so I went to like the biggest college in Cornwall called Truro College, and I was commuting kind of like an hour, somewhere between an hour and an hour and a half each way on a bus in the morning and on the way back,
Wow.
um, which was yeah pretty long. So after the first year, I moved to like a sister college, they were linked basically, but this other one was brand new as well. So completely new. It had only been open for 1 year. So we were the oldest people, like the first people to ever do our A levels there. And yeah, that was a lot closer. So I enjoyed that a little bit more. But yeah, we didn't have any uniform there either.
But yeah, I think one of the key differences about college and sixth form is so sixth form is joined to secondary school, but they only offer, or normally they only offer A levels, whereas college is a place where you can study A levels or BTECs, which are kind of like vocational qualifications. You
Yeah,
can,
they're normally like diplomas, aren't they? Like a BTEC diploma. So it
yeah.
takes up the same amount of time as 3 A levels, and it's kind of like a considered equivalent.
Mm. And it's probably worth mentioning that all of the education we've spoken about in our experience is state education.
Yeah,
So it's free.
yeah, yeah. Funded by the state, I guess. So we have state schools, grammar schools, and private schools, and it gets a little bit confusing because I think in the olden days, so in the past, they called what we call private schools now, they called them public schools. But the word public schools isn't really used by people anymore, just like in normal conversation. I think it's their official name, but we call them private schools. So state schools are completely free, and you don't have to do any. exam to get in. But with grammar schools, they're free, but you have to do an exam to get in, to enter, and then on from that you have private schools, which I think they do have exams, but it's just money, isn't it? Really, it's just you need to pay the fees to get in.
Yeah, they're private businesses, and you just pay a lot of money to go. And the students, I think, often live at the schools, so they often it's called boarding, where you board at the school, where you study there, and you also share a room, I guess, at the school as well.
Yeah, I think it works in different ways at different schools, but I've heard as well from some of my mates that went to them that they're kind of like in different, they call them houses, and it's kind of with other people from different years. So you're not with like everyone from year seven, then everyone from year eight. It's like a few people from year seven, a few people from year eight, and
Um,
then I guess I don't know, maybe like sports days and things like that, and they would compete kind of like as a house.
that sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, yeah. I think it is.
Yeah,
If you ever speak to someone from private schools about their time at private schools, especially like I feel like rugby boys is where it kind of all goes wrong. I guess that's an episode for another day.
yeah. I think there's quite a big divide in the UK with schools, definitely, um, between private schools and state schools. Um, and there's a lot of debate about it, isn't there? But I think it's definitely it's quite a big part of kind of identity in the UK in terms of people's class and how they see themselves in society. I know most politicians are all from private school and have always been from private school. There's that route, isn't there, from private school to Cambridge or Oxford to government.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's a bit of a joke almost. It's like if you go to a private school and you don't get into Oxford or Cambridge, then there's like Durham,
Yeah,
Exeter, St Andrews is another one.
yeah,
um,
yeah,
yeah, but I guess we could explore universities and university life and our university experience in, I guess, the next episode.
yeah, yeah. That would be good. That would definitely be a good idea.
Oh, all right. We will finish up here then.
Yeah, it seems like a good place as any.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for coming, guys. Thank you for watching. If you would like to see a little glossary of all of the terms and all of the words that we've talked about and explained, and some example sentences, things like that, make sure you join our club on Patreon. Join the Tea Break English Club on Patreon. You'll get access to that, and as well a little quiz. We're going to put together some questions as a little listening practice for you, a little listening exercise, and release the answers Friday, I think.
Yeah. So we'll see if you've been paying attention or not.
Yeah, yeah. We'll test your listening skills and make sure you haven't been too distracted looking at Cal's beautiful face.
It can happen.
Nice. All right, guys. Well, see you next time.
See you later, everyone.